Oh, it's pretty. Good morning. Exciting day here on the farm. We've got a lot going on, but most importantly, it's new boot day. Last night when I was moving that Traveler, I managed to get water inside my old boot. So I decided to break the new ones out today. Which, those other ones lasted me over a year and a half almost. I didn't really want to wear these ones up to the field where it's muddy. I won't. I'll put my boots on that I power wash in. But anyway, we have got to get some oil here and take it up because we've got to change oil in our generator this morning. So I'm loading some pails up. We got 2 for draining and 2 for clean oil. And we're gonna go change oil and move the Traveler and get that back up and running. That's priority number 1. Phil took in a load of wheat from yesterday, and we're going to see what the moisture is, what they say it is anyway, and probably be combining wheat later today. All right, got pails, I've got a funnel, got some rags. I think that's all I should need. Yeah, all right, we're going to head up to the field. Oil filter. You guys forgot to remind me, oil filter. I didn't make it very far, but we're gonna go back and get a oil filter and a filter wrench so that we can change that as well. Okay, our pump has been shut off for probably a half an hour now. What time is it? I don't know. 8:11, yeah, a little over half an hour, so the generator's had a chance to cool down with no load on it. I'm gonna hit our disconnect and turn the key. This thing has not shut off in a week. We started it up last Monday morning and just shut it down now. That's that thing has run solid for a week straight. So we need to change engine oil. This has a convenient hose with a valve on it there, so we can stick that hose in our drain buckets, and then new oil goes in right here. So draining. Okay, well, we're still draining a little bit of oil, letting it drip out, and I got the old oil filter off here, so we got to get the new one out. And there's a O-ring here, or gasket. We've got to get some of our new oil out and lube that up and get this installed. I did not bring a paint marker to write the date and the hours on there, but I will write it down in my spreadsheet that I've been keeping track of all the irrigation records in. Okay, filter's on, oil is back in. I think I've got plenty. Yeah, it's above the full mark. I put 7 gallons in, but I did not get 7 gallons out. Whether that's because it doesn't all come out, or maybe we were a little low. I don't really know. It's hard to check it when it never shuts off for a week. Yeah, anyway, it'll be okay. So I do want to start it up, run it for a few minutes, and then shut it down and check the oil again after it settles, just to fill the oil filter, make sure we got plenty of oil in it. And no leaks. Okay, I did start it there and let it run. I shut it back off. We're gonna let it the oil settle back down into the pan, and we're gonna go move our Traveler. We got to make a lane change here, get a gun pulled out. We'll check it again and start it back up when we get everything ready to go. I'm not sure where we were when I left off on Friday's video, but we did have a good weekend up here. Everything's been running good. Haven't had any more troubles with that Honda motor. I think I only broke one of those bolts even. That's been running better. I think that seafoam stuff that I put in the fuel really helped. But yeah, we are just getting ready to pull this one up to the next lane back there where that tractor's setting. That is the main run coming in and out. I think it's pole or lane number 7. And yeah, so we're getting across this field quick, I guess. Let's see, it's been 7 days since we started back up, and I'm ahead of where we were 7 days ago. This lane where it's sitting now is where we started last Monday morning. So this one's already done. We're basically a day ahead of doing it in a week. Yeah. We do, however, have quite the mud hole up here. This is why I did not want to wear my new boots. Yeah. Okay, I got the Traveler moved. I got the gun pulled out. I'm back at the pump. I need to check our oil level here, which looks good. We're right where we need to be. So we're gonna start this back up and fire up the pump. Okay, running. Hopefully we'll get some rain this week and we won't have to run this for another week straight. But that may be wishful thinking at this point. Although there is rain in the forecast for about 5 days towards the end of the week and the weekend. It's only 30-40% chance. So who knows if we'll actually get any. Okay, everything's running up here. Water's pumping down there. This one will be done at 7:15 tonight. So we're in the long runs right now. We got this one and one more, and then we get into some shorter ones after that, and then we start over again. But anyway, I'm probably not going to show a whole lot of the irrigation stuff this week or anymore or for a while, simply because weed harvest takes precedence, and I've shown you guys the irrigation stuff a lot, and my videos are going to be way too long as it is. I'm sure today's is. Okay, I still got a few minutes, or well, a couple hours, I guess, before we will be able to go and do any wheat harvest. So I'm working on a few little projects here. One is making another one of those shafts with a nut on it for that other stabilizer leg on the Traveler. Basically, I got a nut there that I had to remove the threads on the inside, kind of grind them out and get it to slide on this shaft. I'm going to weld that on there. We'll cut it to length and then drill a hole for our roll pin, and then I'll have another one ready. All right, I also wanted to get our computer set up for our record keeping of our moisture and all the loads that we bring in. I'll explain all that later. I've got to go set up a Google Sheets spreadsheet. I'm going to do it on my computer in the office because it's cool in there and easier to work. But Phil got our moisture tester all set up there, so I think everything out here is pretty well ready to go. Okay, since I got that computer and all that stuff set up, now we're going to take the gator, head to the field where the combine's at, and just double check all that stuff, make sure the computer's set up right, and yeah, everything. We got to do our standard oil check, just walk around, make sure everything looks okay before we start the machine up. Okay, well, Dad's here. He's going to get started running. He did a pretty good job getting it set up for being here and doing it by himself yesterday. He accidentally, but he did get the right display and GPS receiver on there because I want to run the RTK on the combine, not the grain cart, and he did get that. There was just one setup file that I needed to get from the computer that there was no way he was going to figure that one out for the variety locator. So, but we got it. It's all set up. Should be good to go. He's going to run the combine. I'm going to jump in the grain cart here. All right. Well, new view for the week here, I guess. Combine, tractor, awesome grain cart. So I'll show you the process here as we get going and stuff, but yeah, this is what we're gonna do for a while, it looks like. I am sure we'll get a little bit of combine seat time too, so, but yeah, that's all right, this is good. Need to wash my windows for you guys so you can see better. Anyway, we're rolling here. Pretty awesome. Put put that new boot on this combine auger last winter. It's got a little different pattern coming out of it, but it works pretty good here. Keep me from having to get quite so close to the end of the head there. Running grain cart in wheat can be a bit of a boring job. Combine kind of go fairly slow in wheat because of all the material you're running through it. So you end up sitting for, I don't know, 10 minutes, then you go for 3 or 4, then you sit. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, see, for example, he's right there. I have to wait for him to go all the way down the field, turn around and get all the way back to here before we're going to do anything again. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to get out and check his windrows, see if we're doing a better job with catching all the wheat. Oh, kind of kick it out of the way here. And then blow it. Still a fair amount. It looks worse than it is. Like I said yesterday, actually I was wrong in yesterday's video. It's 168 kernels per square foot to equal 1 bushel of loss per acre. Now there's a lot there, but it's not 168 per square foot. So we're losing less than a bushel, which again, is probably acceptable losses, but I still want to try and clean it up a little bit better. So I'll let Dad know he needs to keep working on it, and hopefully we can get it. Since I've got a few minutes while I'm sitting here in the cart waiting, I've been reading through some of the comments from yesterday's video, and well, there's a lot of comments on my little venting I had about working with family and my dad specifically yesterday. So just wanted to say, first of all, thanks for letting me vent. It's a good outlet here. But at the same time, we're good. Our communication skills over the last couple of weeks have been a little lacking, but we'll be fine. Again, I'm very appreciative of the opportunities and the fact that I even get to work with my dad. So, you know, it is what it is. And it wasn't that he went and combined wheat yesterday without telling me. I could care less. He's perfectly capable of running the combine and doing everything, and that's fine. I was more frustrated and upset by the fact that 2 days before that, when I had took that sample and it was drier than I thought it would be, and I kind of was trying to make a plan at that point, he just completely blew me off like I was stupid for going and even looking. And we were way, you know, he acted like we were going to be a week away from harvest or something at that point, and then he just goes and starts 2 days later without ever saying a word to me about it. And that's more so what I was frustrated about. It wasn't that he went and did it without me. I don't care. He can do that. You know, I would have been here had I needed to be, or they wanted me to be, or whatever. I hope he doesn't think that I'm lazy for not being here when it was time to harvest, but it was a Sunday afternoon and he had just acted like we weren't going to be anywhere close to combining. So, I don't know. This is what it is. But yeah, we'll be fine. Don't worry too much about us. I'm not upset or mad or anything. Just sometimes it's a challenge. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, he's made 2 more rounds since we made some adjustments on the combine, so I'm going to go check the windrow again. Hopefully we're starting to get a little better. I think it is a little better, but boy, do we still got kernels. I don't know what to tell him to adjust. I don't know. We'll keep working on it. Well, when the neighbors see one combine in the field, they all get fired up. Time to go, boys. Let's get the weed out. It comes out of that auger quick on this grain cart. You don't take long to empty, which I'm not filling it full. We're just doing 1 dump at a time, or yeah, 1 round basically. Because when I get done unloading the combine, we're right by the truck, so no reason to not empty it. Although that's going to change here real quick because we're going to get down on the other side of those woods, and so I'll have to cart it out here to where the trucks are going to sit, and we'll probably take 2 or 3 rounds at a time and try and take fuller cartloads so we're not making so many trips. I guess the good thing with it being so dry right now, I don't have to worry about compaction too awful bad. Dry soil, there's no moisture in it to lubricate it, so it doesn't really get compacted when it's dry. This dry anyway. Well, I've been catching up on some YouTube videos here while I'm sitting and waiting. But we are marching right across this field. Phil just got on the radio and I was asking Dad what the moisture is doing and the yield. Moisture is right around 14.5% and dropping. Where the wheat is better, it's drier. Basically, those plants were just ahead and progressed faster, and so that wheat has dried down a little bit more. So I would expect with the heat and sun, although it's a little cloudy at the moment, but the heat and sun that we're getting right now, within an hour or two, we'll be down in the 13% range, which wheat we want to be 13.5. So that's we're right where we need it to be. We're happy with that. We're putting it in a bin, and we'll blow some air on it, try and cool it down a little bit, and blow any of that moisture, that excessive moisture out just with air. Yield-wise, I have not seen a yield map. I have not been in the combine. I have no idea where stuff has been running or what we're doing, but Dad said the field was averaging in the mid-70s, which is not great. But this is also not a very good field, and I expect it to be some of our poorer wheat. Maybe not our worst field, but definitely not our best. This was the field's first field that we had planted, and it had some thin spots in it from a big rain that we had about a week after the wheat was planted last fall. Common theme here this past year, it seems like. But it's just not great wheat. So I'm hoping we average 80 across everything, maybe a little better than that. I'm not expecting much. In a good year we can average 100, but that's a pretty good year. So we'll see where we end up. It is getting better over on this side of the field. There's more tile and there's less thin spots, so yield will come up. Oh man, you got it, yeah. It is warm out here today. See how we're doing over here. Definitely less kernels here. We're still tweaking, but it's getting better. I'm not too concerned about that. So this grain cart has a auto luber on it. Basically, it lubricates some of the pivot points on the tracks automatically. That thing runs for a minute once every 15 minutes, half hour, something like that. I don't know. And it lubricates any of these lines with the or grease fittings with a line attached to them. So just wanted to take a look at stuff while we're out of the cab here. Looks all right. There's definitely fresh grease, so they're getting greased. Yep. While we've got a second, we can talk about our grain cart. It is a Brent Avalanche 1196. It holds 1,100 bushels. It's got the equalizer track system on it, which is kind of the Cadillac track system, I guess. But basically, these tracks are really wide. They're 42 inches wide, and they pivot not only front to back, so if we get in uneven ground or something, the track will pivot front to rear to follow that ground contour. But these ones also have an adjustment where they will pivot this way to help keep that track square on the ground, so that it spreads the weight out really good and is super stable, especially where we're dumping along the roadsides and stuff and we can get onto some uneven ground. Pretty cool system there. So the auger on this cart pivots up and down. The whole thing moves up and down, so you've got some adjustability there. It also has adjustment on the spout where it goes in and out and back and forth to help you hit the right spot in the truck all the time. We got a little bit left in there that didn't fit in that last truck, but yeah, she's pretty cool. Okay, we are moving across this field. Yeah, we're in the far corner. There's 128 acres in this field, so we're getting quite a bit done here today. Somebody was up looking at my traveler earlier and that bolt broke, so I'm gonna try and get up there and fix it. He can make rounds here where we're setting, and so I'm just gonna park the grain cart, let him dump some into it, make rounds while I have Uncle Ron, who sent me the picture of the broken bolt, run me over to the gator, which is on the far corner of the field, other side of the woods over there, and we'll run up there and fix that bolt and we'll be back. It won't take real long. A few of you have asked how our non-irrigated crops are handling the drought and how they're looking and stuff. Here's a field of our beans. It's not irrigated, obviously. They don't look terrible yet, but you can see some of the leaves are starting to flip upside down. That's bean self-defense mechanism. They're definitely stressed, but like I said in a video last week, stress this time of year on beans is not as critical as it is on corn. It's not good for them, but beans are made in August, and if we get the late July and August rains, these beans will be fine. So that's those. I'll see if I can find a cornfield for you real quick. Well, here you go. You can see it's rolled up tight. Oh man, not good. This is the field that about 3 weeks ago when we were side dressing corn, I told you it was as close to perfect as you could get for that time of year. It looked fantastic. It was great corn. And now it's dying. And there's nothing I can do about it. So this is pretty representative. It's the middle of the day. It's 4, 5 o'clock right now. Sun's hot, beating down. It's 92, 93 degrees out here. This corn is stressed. And so this is what it looks like. I can't water this field. I can't water most of our fields. So we're going to deal with what we deal with. But there's your answer. That's what it looks like. On the bright side, at this point, the wheat is handling it just fine. This heat is having no impact on the wheat whatsoever, other than making it ready to harvest. These wagons used to look huge. Now I'm afraid to open the grain cart wide open because I'm afraid I'm going to overflow it too fast. Just when things are starting to work. You see all that stuff on the bean head? Yeah, it's not supposed to be there. Our draper belts quit turning, and I'm not real sure why. It's both of them and both sides, so it's not slippage. It's not something stopping one of them up. I did check to make sure nothing was caught in one, and it wasn't just like it stopped one, but if that does that, the other side usually keeps turning. So that's not the issue. I tried going through the electrical side of stuff and seeing if there was something in the computer that just set the speed to 0, and it does show speed 0, but it won't let me change it. So I thought maybe a speed sensor is bad. I tried unplugging each one of them and running it. That did not work. It doesn't mean that's not the problem, but I don't really know. So we got to do a little diagnostics here, and might have to call a dealer. Well, we unloaded the combine into the grain cart, and I brought that and put it up in the truck just to get up here to the end of the field. I don't know what the problem is here. There's some sensors on the draper belts on the back side here that sense the speed. It's this harness. It goes down into there on the shaft. But I tried unplugging all those and one at a time to see if it would run. That did not help it. I don't know. Well, shoot. I'm still at a loss. We did take apart the drive pump that pumps oil to the hydraulic motors that drive the belts, and thinking maybe the coupling in there or something was bad. It's fine. So unless the pump went bad, which I highly doubt, it seems to be an electrical issue. I'm guessing a speed sensor somewhere, but I unplugged them all one at a time, and that was supposed to make it work until you unplug, or when you unplug the faulty one, and then you just replace that one. That didn't work. Because it's both sides, I don't think it's actually something causing them to slip. Otherwise it would just be one side. It's not a belt tension thing. I've checked that, and I checked it again just now. The center belt feeds the sickle runs, the reel runs, which means that the drive is working. So it's not combine side. I really think it's an electrical issue, and my best guess is the sensor on that motor right there, that tells the computer how fast the belts are supposed to be turning. I think that one's bad, but I don't know. I did text my tech at the dealer. Hold up. Okay, well, I was texting with the tech a little bit, and he was getting into some stuff, but we checked the easy things, so they're gonna come out and look at it tomorrow. We're gonna call it for the night. So I'm gonna go home for a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I'm making a plan back at the farm. Just shutting everything off and locking it up. We did cover a little ground today. How much did you do yesterday? 16. Okay, well, bummer. We did actually about 98 acres today and 16 yesterday, so we're a fifth done with wheat after a day and a half, not even. So we're doing okay. I will get a tech out here from John Deere, from the dealer, tomorrow morning, hopefully, and they can figure out what's going on with that. Draper belts there. I still think it's electrical, although there is a chance it's mechanical. If it's a mechanical issue, it's the hydraulic oil pump that's on the head that drives those belts, the pump that pushes oil to the motors on the belt drive, which won't be cheap, but neither will the electrical stuff as far into this as we're already getting. So I was working with the tech, and there's some valves they need to bypass and see what's causing issues and check some solenoids and everything, and kind of isolate the problem. So I'm gonna let them come out and mess with that tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be back up and running tomorrow afternoon. Dad said he's got a appointment like 12:30 or something in Hillsdale, so I will get to run the combine a little bit tomorrow. And again, we're fine. You guys don't need to worry about Dad and I just vented a little bit yesterday, frustrations, but it's all right. We're good. So no big deal. Anyway, I was gonna fill up my fuel trailer here because when I go up to move the Traveler in an hour or a little more, I'm gonna need fuel up there, and we appear to have a flat tire. She's leaking. Okay, well, we do have a new tire to put on there, but the last thing that I want to do while it's 95 degrees out is change a tire. So instead of changing the tires on the rim, I'm going to steal one off of the sprayer that we have yet to use this year. Put that on there for now, although it's flat too, so hopefully it holds air a little better. Anybody know the reason why some things have lug nuts and the studs are part of the hub, and other things have lug bolts that thread into the hub? Because studs in the hub already is a lot easier to get the tire lined up. Come on. My half-inch impact is up at the field with the Traveler. We'll use the 3/8. It'll be good enough. Okay, well, that is going to work. I'm getting this fueled up, and I'm going to go home for about 45 minutes after it gets fueled up. At least see my kids before they go to bed. Maybe grab something to eat since I did not get any lunch today. And then we'll go move the Traveler and keep that thing running for the night. Those of you who were paying attention this morning when I started it, I said it would be done at 7:15. Well, that was true, but when that bolt broke, which I think I told you about, I don't even remember at this point, it slowed down for a while, and so when I fixed the bolt, I looked at the footage and reset the timer, added about an hour and a half to the run, which is why it's now 8:45 instead of 7:15. You see that? You see what's going on behind me? This is why sometimes I think they think I'm lazy. It's 8:30 at night and he is here power washing a wagon. Why? Oh well. Anyway, time to go move the Traveler. Wow, look at this! straw guys did make it here today. Looks like they only did one windrow, but got her started anyway. There he is over there. Focus. There he is. Doing the end rows, it looks like. They like to do the end rows as quick as possible. Get them out of the way so they don't get run over so much. Oh, it's done. We'll get her moved. We're pulling her out the other way. This one should go pretty quick. Since this is our last lane that goes out to the road and the one we drive in and out all the time, I have no way to get back to the pump except for to go, well, there's two ways. I can go all the way around the whole field, or I can go this way, go along the south side of the river and then cross the river right there by the pump. We're going that way. It's getting old coming out here to move this thing all the time, but this right here, this time of night, watching that thing go, it's quiet, peaceful, it's not bad. I don't mind this little moment. Yep, not a bad sight. Anyway, we're up and running. This is a 10.5 hour pull, I believe. I got it running just a little slow for the overnight, so it will be done at 7:30 in the morning. I'm getting pretty good at timing these out. Look at it, beautiful. Okay, time to go home. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get the combine fixed. The draper anyway, and we can keep combining wheat in the afternoon. I was gonna get a haircut tomorrow. I don't know if that's gonna happen now because we got to come and do this first thing in the morning at 7:30 and get it running, and then we'll see what time the John Deere tech's gonna come out, and I should probably be around for that. And if I had time between then and say 11:30 noon when I needed to be back to combine wheat, I'll go get a haircut. Unlikely to happen. What else? I guess that's it for today. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I've been getting quite a few more views on these last videos. I don't know if they're suddenly that much better or just more people are finding them, but I appreciate it. Anybody that's new, welcome to the channel, and hit that subscribe button for me, please. Yeah. And leave me any questions and comments that you have. I reply to a lot of comments, or I address them in the videos. I read them all. So, and if I miss one or something and you think that I should have answered, leave the comment again and I will get to it. So, but yeah, thanks for watching with me every day. It's a lot, but I appreciate it. So, give the video a thumbs up too, please. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.